You are listening to the Horse Radio Network, part of the Equine Network family.
This is episode 139 of the Wisdom by WESA show on the Horse Radio Network. This is Mike Donnell.
I'm Casey Wilbanks.
And this is Sofia Aguila. Welcome to Wisdom by WESA on the Horse Radio Network, part of the Equine Network family.
This podcast is brought to you by the Western and English Sales Association, WESA, which provides the world's largest trade events for retailers, manufacturers, and sales representatives of the equestrian industry. In this podcast, we feature exclusive interviews with noteworthy Western and English personalities, retailers, and exhibitors who you've always wanted to talk to. Don't miss out on all the news for manufacturers and retailers in the equine industry. Sophia, I hear that you have great news again, so please tell us more.
Yes, we do have great news because the exhibit space for the upcoming show is now completely sold out. We filled our main temporary floor, the 11th floor, a little while ago. So we added additional space on the 10th floor, and now that is also full.
Oh, wow. That's great. How many new exhibitors will you have at the January WESA Trade Show?
So we'll have 55 new exhibitors, and to kind of make connecting with them a little bit easier, we're adding a special section in our directory just for the new exhibitors, just so you know exactly who's going to be new and where to find them. And people have asked if there is a sort of physical new exhibitor section on the show floor. And we don't have an official section, but the majority of them will be located on the 10th floor, close to the social arena.
The social arena. So where exactly is the social arena located, and what can people do there?
It'll be on the 10th floor in booth 2703, and we'll have our photo booth with a WESA backdrop there. And for anyone looking for the WESA mascots, Dally and Dax, they will be available exclusively at the social arena. And of course, they're in high demand. So keep an eye out for our Instagram stories and specifically for our restock alerts.
Monte Nelson has decades of experience in the Western boot business. Now he's been tapped to lead Tecovas' marketing expansion from primarily online sales to both online and retail distribution. He joins us today to chat about this shift in marketing emphasis and talk a bit about the concept and remarkable growth of this 9-year-old boot brand. Monte Nelson, thank you for taking the time out of your busy day to join us here on Wisdom by WESA.
Awesome. Well, I'm very, very grateful that you guys took the time to have me. I'm excited.
Well, I think it's going to be a fun show. For our listeners, many of them, I think, realize that a lot of the brands in the Western boot business have been around forever and ever and ever and ever. And Tecovas came on the scene, 9 years ago, and has established a strong foothold in that market. But I think the story is interesting. So if you would, take a bit and walk us through 9 years ago when the concept was born, and then we'll get into what we're going to do in the future.
Sure. Well, yeah, it's 9 years. So we're 9 years old. And I think it's a pretty simple premise. I think Paul Hendrick, the owner, decided to kind of look through the Western industry, which is a strong heritage that we own as a nation. So he didn't really go after one segment. He went after everybody. So people that were born in boots, first-time boot wearers, just welcome them into the brand. And we kind of coined the phrase radical hospitality. So just about welcoming everybody to the brand. I mean, we didn't really care if you bought anything. I'm talking D2C back then. It was just, we just want you to love the cowboy and the Western heritage. So we really, again, we're going after everybody. And that's what this industry needed. Me being in this industry for so long, I grew up in it. And, Tecovas is responsible for getting more people into cowboy boots. And now we've grown into apparel and everything else. So it's been a great thing for our industry. And we've done it through comfort, through just the again, we're not chasing. We're always creating, which is what I love too. And then we all circle around the cornerstone, which is the radical hospitality. So we want everybody to enjoy the brand, looking at it, going in, seeing what we have new. And also, obviously, we want you to wear it. So it's been a great thing.
Well, and Paul's utilized, everybody have utilized really contemporary marketing techniques. I mean, you were doing network television and beautiful television ads. If you go to the website, there are videos of different aspects of the Western lifestyle. So you managed to do that. But you started out as an online retailer, and we're going to get to what's happening in the future. But clearly, your online initiative was a success.
Oh, major success. I mean, again, and we were targeting everyone. Again, going after that Western consumer, but also going after the lawyer, going after the student. I mean, you can wear boots everywhere, right? I mean, courtrooms and dance floors and bars and job sites. I mean, there's no place you can't wear a pair of boots. So his spectrum and our D2C was targeting everybody, urban, college, athletes, your attorneys. So we weren't just focused on the cowboy, though. The cowboy is the root and just the authenticity of our brand. But yeah, so it was a very wide net that we casted, and it was all about getting more people into cowboy boots.
Well, and I think you've probably accomplished that. And just a bit about your background, because you've come on board to add the retail distribution aspect to the company's business model, correct?
Correct.
And you know the business. So why don't you, for our listeners, share just a little bit. I mean, every major brand you have helped along the way. So give us just a little of your background.
Yeah, well, yeah, I was on the road for a few years, and then I was brought in at Justin Brands, and I ran the Nakona boot brand for a few years, and then I was elevated up to Tony Lama, which was a great band in itself, and we did that for several years, and then I inherited back Nakona. So I ran them both, and great time in my life, learned a lot of developers, a lot of heritage. I mean, that was very old and established brands, which was great. And then I, landed here at Tecovas through David Lafitte, our current CEO, and he approached me about the wholesale business. And I was at first a little bit leery with the D2C and everything, but after he explained to me what they were doing, I couldn't have been more excited, because it's a brand that came out of left field. It's no secret, but now we're bringing it back to what made our industry so awesome. I think it's the best industry in the world. I'm biased, but now I'm going to go out and basically I've coined the phrase, share the magic with our retailers. And some of these retailers I've known for 25 plus years, and they're not only retailers, they're friends. And once we're done and we're retired, we'll be friends thereafter. So it's awesome to be able to come to them with something new and fresh. And what they bring to us is, the authenticity. I was looking to put it in spectrum. You mentioned we're 9 years old. Well, I methodically picked out 12 retailers, and they were 321 years old combined. So our industry is so strong. And so it's nice to be able to go out and bring them a new customer base. And again, the lens, kind of share the magic of what Paul has created and what David's creating. And everybody as a whole, I'm able to share that. And so we're growing the Western industry, and they're giving us authenticity, and then we're giving them more customers. So it's an awesome thing. It's exciting. It gets me up early.
No, it really is. And we'll talk a bit more about that. Casey, I want you to join in here, because every time we talk about a product or a brand, the marketing gives a product a presence. The quality and the fashion give it believability and to continue day after day. For 9 years, you've been leading the online business, but you haven't forgotten quality and fashion and the product. And that's where that's Casey's area much more than mine.
Right.
And she can chat with you a bit about that.
Well, he led me right where I was going to go, talking about what you have to offer your retailers. so many options. I'm looking through the website, and this is not the first time I've been on your website because I love your boots and I love your options. And we could probably do a whole show just talking about the colors and the toe and the just all the different options that you have besides not just women, men. And I would love for you to talk, and you can go wherever you want to with it. You can talk
Sure.
about your best sellers,
Sure.
or you already touched on that you have something for everybody, really. I mean, I could go to the office and wear a pair of boots. I can go to the rodeo and wear a pair of boots. I'm looking at your Annie right now. Love
Oh,
it.
yeah.
That's where my eye went, but so many options. And for a retailer that's going to carry boots, I mean, what more could you ask for? There's really something they can customize to their specific store and their customers. And you go ahead and run with all the different options that you guys have.
Sure. First, I want to, I've always said, boots and boats are kind of the same thing. They all look good, brand new, right? But it's the stuff on the inside that you can't see. And that's what I'm so impressed with, because remember, we're going after, and we went after, and we're going to continue to go after the first time boot wearer. So they have to be comfortable. And so what we've done is we've invested from the inside out. So all of our hung lining, our premium cow lining, I've never worn ankle socks with boots until now.
Oh,
And
wow.
living in Texas, it helps. So the comfort, the out of the box comfort, it's not a cliche. It's real. And that's what makes us so sustainable, and why people keep buying our boots and they keep coming back. Our repeat business is unreal. And so the colors, you mentioned the Annie, that's our number one profile. The Abbey, it's got a little J toe on it, and you've got a snip toe in the Annie. And all the leathers every boot has a story behind it, to be honest with you, and so we're constantly looking out to see, as others, as what's the next thing. But what I love is we've never chased, and we never will. I mean, we're going to continue to push the envelope. And like we talked about, I mean, some of these styles, you see that prosecutor, in Texas, and then you can see somebody, on the baseball field that takes the cleats off and puts on a pair of our rubber bottoms. So it's across the board. And not only boots, now we're toe to head is what we say now, and it's all premium. So that's the other thing, is the comfort's unbelievable, and then it's a premium product. So there are no shortcuts. The lemonwood pegs, 3/4 welt, stacked leather heels. We have not cut 1/4, and that's, as a product guy, and what I've always done. We'll be burying one of my best friends, Rodney Ammons, who is a legend in our industry, and that's who I learned underneath, and never cut a corner. And that's what has really drawn me from the product, because all the glitz and glamour and the marketing, we've got them, we brought them. But the reason why we're so sustainable is because of how well our product's made and how comfortable it is.
Which is so important too. Just coming from me, as I mentioned, I wear boots in all different aspects, whether I'm rodeoing or just for dress. And I think as women, like, we've been told for years that pain is beauty, but it doesn't have to be
Right.
with your boots. And just one example I'm thinking of, you think about the NFR coming up, the fashion aspect of the 10 days of the NFR is just as big, if not bigger, as the rodeo itself. I hate to say it, but why not be comfortable and look amazing? You mentioned the Abbey boot. I'm looking at that in your olive suede. So beautiful. And
Good eye.
yeah. I'm telling you, I could do too much shopping on this show that we do.
Yeah.
But to me, that's a big part of it. You don't have to be in pain, because there are boots, let's be honest, that are extremely uncomfortable.
Yeah, and that's where we are. Is we want people to have fun, and we want to grow the boot, and we want to grow the Western heritage. It's the best industry in the world. It's supported my family for decades, but I want to get it larger. And Tecovas, and that's not a bad thing for any of us. I mean, it's great for WESA. We want more people dressed in Western, and we're doing it. And that's what's so cool, is we're a leader, and it's all based around comfort and cool styling. And radical hospitality. And so that's one thing I wanted to tell y'all too, that dealing with these wholesalers and our retailers that are really our retail partners, again, friends of mine, and we want to continue to grow that quickly, but we need to do it, under a promise less, deliver more mentality, because we want to keep that radical hospitality of servicing them just as important as anybody else. And so what we created, which was super cool, because I like doing stuff a little bit different, if you can imagine that. And it was what we call the Trailblazer program. And that's going to be some of our top store managers and district managers. We're going to have them go in and train our retailers. So it's a retailer talking to a retailer, which has been really very well received. And it's been awesome to watch that grow. So they can talk about opening up a store, closing down a store, closing the cash register, taking out the trash, waiting on customers. They've been there. And so it's been very nice for our Trailblazers, and they're excited to go out and meet some of our retail partners. So it's been an awesome thing. So like I said, I get up a little early, in the morning now, because this has been a great thing for our industry.
Yeah, I got a new pep in your step. And you mentioned WESA, which I want to talk about the debut in January 2025, the expansion on the 10th floor. You guys are going to be part of that at the Dallas Market Center with a brand new custom built showroom. I am referencing an article on cowgirlmagazine.com published August of this year. And there's some pictures, but I would love for you to talk about just the look of the showroom and really the excitement about this showroom.
Oh yeah. Well, thank you. Yeah, we're super excited about it. It's been, they've taken, and then I mean the architects and us, we've had many meetings, and this is probably my 28th WESA. And, I've never done a planogram the way we're doing this, that we're coming in full force, and it's going to be replica of our store, because we want to keep that image. Again, I mentioned we're a premier brand, and we want to be able to showcase. It's kind of a multifaceted deal. I want our retail partners to see what our POS looks like adjacent to our boots and all of our apparel and accessories. So we're going to be able to show them if they wanted to do a concept store, which some of our retailers already have. And so we're going to be able to take them in and show them what it would look like in their store if they so choose to. And then it's just, we're going to have, obviously we need good food at WESA. So, lunches are very important,
Yes.
and good TVs for the playoffs. This isn't my first rodeo.
Oh gosh.
So
Perfect.
we'll have really good TVs, a really good bar. We'll have music. We're going to showcase radical hospitality to the entire industry is what we're going to do. So it'll be fun.
It's a party on the 10th floor, just like everywhere at the WESA show. And you've mentioned a few times how these retailers, you're not just doing business, they're friends. And we talk about that a lot. Just the camaraderie at the WESA shows. I think we all know and we all feel it when we get there, but you can explain it to us too. As you mentioned, the food and the playoffs, everybody's doing business, but everybody's having a really good time too.
Yeah, it's, and I'll say it forever. I mean, it's put food on my tables and put my kids through college, but it's also given me some of the best friendships I've ever had. And some of them are competitors, some of them are retailers, some of them are fellow vendors. But the camaraderie and that Western heritage that we all love is very, very special. And it's something that I'm so appreciative of. And I love bringing Tecovas into it. And now we're truly helping out friends, and we're doing it by bringing new people into their stores and sharing the magic. And so, there's nothing like WESA, and there's nothing like, it's like your 25th high school reunion every year, I mean, it's great, so I'm looking forward to it, seeing everybody.
It might be a little more fun than my high school reunion.
Yeah, that's true. Maybe a good reference.
We'll go with that. And just to mention again, the Tecovas will be on the 10th floor and in good company. Some of the brands that will be there on the same floor, Levi's, Cinch, Ariat. So in really good company. And Mike, anything else to add before we
Well, you've covered almost everything, but I got a quiz question for you.
Uh-oh.
No, for Casey.
Oh, okay.
Okay, bring
Casey,
it.
where'd the name of the company come from?
Oh, come on, Mike. Why'd you do this to me? Do you know the answer? He must know the answer.
I do, but I do know the answer, but I didn't know it yesterday. I just think it's kind of interesting
Why'd
because,
you have to put me on the spot?
in other words, you don't know either. Okay.
No, sir.
Tell them. Go ahead and tell them. Tell all our listeners. Maybe you can offer them something if they can answer the question right when they come into your showroom. You never know.
Sure. Yeah. And actually I'm an alumni of Texas Tech. So it was my first, the irony is 30 plus years ago, it was my first date with my wife. It's in Paladura Canyon, which is in between Amarillo and Lubbock. Beautiful spot. And it's a section there. So it's strange how it all ties back home. So yeah, that's what Tecovas is. And we'll actually, at the showroom, you'll be able to see it. So we'll have that area showcased. So
wonderful.
Why not?
I agree. Hey, listen, this has been fun. It's a great brand. It's not an old line, been here forever brand. It's a up and coming brand that's doing everything right in today's market, but it's fostering the beliefs and the traditions of the market from decades ago. I have to applaud you guys for finding the way to continually mesh those two together. We wish Tecovas a lot of luck as you move into the retail distribution. I am positive you're not going to give up the online sales. And my guess is year after year, there's going to be something new coming out of Tecovas.
Yes, sir. You can count on it.
Okay. Thanks a lot, Monte. Appreciate your time, bud. The show notes and links from today's show can be found at wisdombywesa.com. And feedback, of course, we'd love to hear your feedback. If you have some, there's a contact link on the website.
The Wisdom by WESA show will be published on the 15th and 30th of every month. You can listen on most of your favorite podcast players, and you can also listen on wisdombywesa.com. Be sure to visit all the great shows on the Horse Radio Network at horseradionetwork.com. WESA, where the industry meets.